Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the November 3rd Parks, Recreation, and Community Resources Advisory Commission meeting. First, can I get Todd to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Roll call?
Commissioner Tullis,
Present.
Commissioner Warner,
Here.
Commissioner Maroney,
Here.
Vice Chair Horowitz,
Here.
Chair Ellman.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Excellent. Announcements and upcoming city events. Brian?
All right, good evening, Chairperson, members of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Resources Advisory Commission. I'm going to hand off to our lead special events and filming coordinator, Kaylin, to read off the upcoming permitted special events.
Thank you, Brian. Our first permitted special event for November is going to be Sandy Sauté, which is being held on November 8th. The next special event we have is the Interscholastic Beach Volleyball League Tournament Series on November 15th. We have the AAU Southern Pacific Grand Prix Series on November 16th and 30th. And then we have our Hermosa for the Holidays event happening November 21st through the 23rd.
Thank you, Kaylin. Next slide, Amari. The city would like to highlight the upcoming city-hosted event, which is the Hermosa Beach Veterans Day Ceremony, going to be scheduled to be held Tuesday, November 11, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. This will be hosted at the Hermosa Beach Veterans Memorial, which is the east lawn of the community center at 710 Pier Avenue. The event will kick off with a pre-event concert by the Palos Verdes Symphonic Band at 10 a.m. and with it following a post-reception inside the Hermosa Beach Museum from 11:15 till 12. For more information, you can visit the website at hermosabeach.gov/recreation. Next slide. Next, the city-hosted excursion, which is a charter bus company that we use to transport participants and community members to excursion around the LA area from the Hermosa Beach Community Center. This month, we are excited to go to Los Rios Rancho Oak Glen Apple Farm, which is going to take place November 7th. For more information or to register for the event, you can visit the city website at hermosabeach.gov/recreation. And lastly, the upcoming theater productions in November for the community theater, our large theater. We hosted this past Saturday a dance group on November 1st. Upcoming on Friday, November 7th, we have CVVA Volleyball Hall of Fame. On Saturday, November 8th, we have Proto Telco's concert, which is a dance and music recital concert on November 8th. On November 13th, the City of Hermosa Beach will be hosting the CPRS District 9 mini conference. On November 14th, we would be Blackmail Productions presents Broken Curses, a live theatric performance on November 14th. On November 15th, we have Warren Miller film screening. On November 22nd, we have Continuous Signal presents Pink Floyd tribute concert. And lastly, on every Wednesdays and Sundays, Family Theater Incorporation presents Mary Poppins Jr.'s rehearsals. And in the second story theater, we have Remo Vision's Comedy Night that took place on November 1st. And upcoming, on November 7th, we have the Experimentals Improv Troupe Improv Night. On November 8th, we have April Fool's Comedy Improv Night. And lastly, on November 14th through 16th and the 21st to 23rd, we have Kaleidoscope, which presents Over the River theatric performance. For more information about our theaters, bookings, and performances, you can visit the city website, hermosabeach.gov/theater. That concludes our events presentation.
All right. Does anyone have any announcements? All right, I just want to remind well, first of all, I want to thank the veterans for everything they do. That is an amazing group, and I always enjoy coming down and just appreciating the service in the past and the present that we have down there. And I just want to take a moment and remind everyone that if you get a chance, you really should go to the Hermosa Schools Halloween Carnival, just walking through it. That is such an amazing time. The kids are out there, they have bands performing, and it's just absolute chaos, but it's so much fun. And I would really, really challenge any of you just to take a walk through the school. It does my heart good. So, and no.
Actually, I just want to say I did go to the Carrie event and did the tour. I didn't watch the movie because seen it before.
Chicken.
And I actually attended Pier Avenue when they were making the film. And my fellow Commissioner Horowitz was there in a prom dress. So she got dressed up. She didn't have the blood, but it was a fun event. I think they had about 300 people there. So it was a big turnout.
It's turning into a thing. It was very small for a while, and now I think you guys have done a great job of promoting that and word of mouth. Perfect. All right, next we have presentations. The California Great Santa Stroll. Are you here? There they are.
Hi, Commissioners. I'm Jillian,
I'm Kelly.
and we're part of the development team at Michael's Learning Place. We're getting so excited for our 7th annual Santa Stroll on Hermosa Pier. Next slide, please. To give you a general overview of the event, it's a fun walk, run, or stroll from Hermosa Beach to Manhattan Beach and back. The turnaround point is at 11th Street in Manhattan Beach. And this is just a really fun, festive morning with the community. Everyone dresses up as Santa, so they get a Santa suit or a festive t-shirt with their registration. Kids get a t-shirt and pups get a festive bandana. It's super fun. There's activations on the pier. We do a little stage presentation before walkers begin, and all of the event, 100% of the funds benefits Michael's Learning Place, and we provide programs for individuals with developmental disabilities. Last year we had 1,300 people, and this year we're aiming for 1,500 people. So getting really excited about that. Our registrations have been amazing so far, so we're on track to meeting that goal. Next slide, please. This is kind of what the setup looks like. Mike Bell has been our event producer for the past few years, and so he's helped us with everything from setup to takedown. The map on the left is kind of a general overview of the spaces that we use, and then the map on the right gives you a bit more detail, and that might change as we get closer just because we're still confirming some of the vendors and things on the pier, but that is the general structure. We will have the stage in that location and the kids zone around the middle area of the pier. Yeah.
All right, next slide. Excellent. Yep, you want me to this? Thanks. That's okay. All right, so we are really, really excited to bring a lot of community members and visitors to beautiful Hermosa Beach. As Jillian said, we're looking at upwards of 1,500 people, so it's going to be a great day for local businesses, and we're really encouraging our participants to patronize these businesses. We have a couple ways of doing that. We have some expo vendors that are popping up. Actually, the Hermosa Police are popping up, but we also have some local businesses as well that are taking advantage of some flyer opportunities. In every registration packet, we have businesses putting in flyers with promotions. Something like Creamy Boys is in there, and they're going to be doing 25% off for participants if you come in your Santa suit. So it's a really good way to integrate the businesses. And we are marketing this with the Hermosa Beach Chamber, who, they are just lovely. And they're putting our flyers out and info out in their email blasts. And then we're also putting up a street banner at Pier Plaza. And we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great. Does anyone have any questions?
I was just wondering, do you raise the money, people sponsor walkers, or is there an entrance fee, or how does it work?
Yes, so we do have registration fees. We have some tiered pricing, and then we do have sponsors as well.
Do you want to go over the tiered pricing right now so everyone knows?
Want to hit that?
Yeah. We're at trick or treat pricing right now. So we're looking at it's $34.98 for adults, and then $24.98 for kids and students. And then, do you remember? Pups are around $12. Yeah.
Great, and that's until the end of this week?
It's until Monday.
Okay, and then it goes up, there'll be a
Yes.
slight increase?
Yes, there will be one more tier and then the regular pricing.
Okay.
And then we do have a 2-minute video if you'd like to see that as
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
Sure, it's the last slide.
Let me work on pulling that up.
Sure.
Can we get a ho? Can we get a ho?
Santa's making his way out of that beautiful Mustang from South Bay Forest.
Wonderful, wonderful to see everybody. Let's set on the runners. Ho, ho, go!
Got to get the sponsors in there. I have been going for a very long time, my friendship with Tracy. And it's a great event, and the cookies are so good. And those come from Michael's Cafe.
Yep, Michael's
Yeah.
Bakery, yep.
Okay, and if you haven't been, you should all go. The food is excellent, and I might have taken more than one cookie.
That's allowed.
So thank you very much, and the fact that you're making this local and helping the businesses out, we're very, very grateful for the creative idea. Anything else?
I've been going since year one, and you can see me out there in my blue Santa suit. How do people register?
Sure. We have QR codes on a lot of our marketing materials, so you scan the code and go online to register that way. And then we're also doing a lot of pop-up events where they can register there as well.
Can they also go to michaels.org and
They sure
register there?
can.
Okay.
That was a good way of pushing that. Very good, Tracy. Yes, and the last thing I wanted to say was just if you're going to meet people there, figure out where you're meeting them because everybody's wearing red and it is not easy to find your friends. Thanks. Anything else? Thanks for the presentation and good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have the community Hanukkah celebration. Rabbi?
Hello, Rabbi David Lisman from the Jewish Community Center. I want to thank everybody once again for all their help all these years. We're looking forward to another wonderful, wonderful event coming up this year. It's on December 14th. It's going to be, once again, 3:30 is the call time. We're planning something very similar. I know we're going up against the fireworks. This year, the way the holiday falls out, we're going up against the fireworks, but we've been there, we've done that before, and it didn't seem to impact anything in any way. As far as we're planning a very similar, themed idea as in the past, the same size stage. We have the pop-ups with the latkes and the donuts and the gifts for the children with the arts and crafts on the side. The highlight every year is always with definitely the highlight of the year is when the city leaders from the city get up and share a few words. But the secondary highlight is with the fire truck from the LA County. When they bring the ladder up above and they drop the Hanukkah gelt, those little chocolate coins tied to little parachutes, and they come raining down from heaven, the sweetness of blessings of the chocolate coins. So it's a beautiful highlight. We look forward to that as well. And the menorah I think it's 2 years now where we upgraded the new menorah to a beautiful LED menorah so that the whole thing is shining, that you can see it from the whole Pier Plaza. You see the menorah all the way down. It's something very beautiful, and we're very proud to be able to have that there. Trying to think if there's any questions.
Well, the latkes are great. Always appreciate it. Reminds me of my grandmother, so thank you very much. Anything else?
No, it's always a great community event. The 14th, that's night one?
That's night one. Yeah.
So we can take advantage of the fireworks at the same time.
Well, people can walk, stroll, you can see.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rabbi.
All right. Okay.
The Hermosa Beach Open, the post-event presentation.
Hello, Mark Partloy, Commissioners. How you doing? Thank you so much for having me up here. A quick rundown, a recap for the Hermosa Beach Open. This year is our second year from a first year of the 3-year agreement. You can go to the next slide there as well. We had 27 sponsors this year, increase of about, I think, 6 or so more than previous year. And after reviewing with each one of them the last month or so, I think majority of them, if not all of them, are going to return for next year. They were very happy with the results of the event, and they're part of it and being part of the whole community base of this event. You can go to the next one, please. The attendance of this participations were about 128 teams that played over the 4 days of competition. Thursday was a qualifier, main draw Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Between Thursday qualifier and Friday's first day, we had approximately 1,000 to 2,000 people throughout the day. Going into Saturday with the full activity of the full courts and the Legends match we also had probably close to about 5,000 to 6,000 or so. And then on Sunday, and being the main day for the finals and stuff, everything kind of folded down to the final courts there. And with the whole everything that happening throughout the city of Hermosa, we had close to 7,000 or so spectators throughout the day as well. And the next slide. Demographics for this Hermosa Beach Open is beach volleyball. Southern California is the leading, leading sport of beach volleyball here in Southern California worldwide. So a lot of athletes, spectators, and fans around the world look at Southern California as the premier place for beach volleyball. So the Hermosa Open has a lot of natural eyeballs coming to it for this type of event. You can go through the next slide. The PR reach, we didn't really invest into this. We've very fortunate we have Wedbush as a sponsor, and they have a lot of outreach and just naturally put it out there, albeit mostly into the financial world. So like we had Yahoo Finance and Global Wire and many other entities that help push the event out there naturally through their networks, but more for the business world side of it. But in respects, we did have some pretty good numbers and viewerships and responses and views throughout our posts and social media and everything too. You can go to the next slide. There you go. So we ended up with some press coverage with the Global Wire, LA Times, Yahoo, and then obviously locally here, the Easy Reader, which helped out and helped spread the word of the event and getting some good attention from a wide base, a variety of people around the world. You can go to the next. Some of the sponsor exposure really helped with the court signages that we have, the social media posts that we've engaged with the community and with the sponsors itself, the PA announcements throughout the event, and just some of the email and Evite stuff that we did within the athletes and the athletes' participation and stuff for the event. So, yeah. Some of the sponsors got to experience having a branded court with the Gooder and Sea Sprite as some of our premier sponsors that really stepped up and really helped us out. So we had a premier court that was dedicated to them, that they had their own marketing on the nets, maybe pole pads and their signages around it. That really helped bring the whole event together for them as well, engaging their product or their company with the whole event. Good, thanks. And then Chevron did a really good job with us in helping us out with volunteer shirts. I believe we had probably close to, I think more than 20 a day. I think we ended up with like over 150 total throughout the whole weekend of volunteers coming through, doing their time and sharing their excitement for the sport and helping out with the event and really making the event a really exciting, fun time. With those volunteers, they really get to closely interact with the fans and the players, so it's a really good experience for them and for us to make sure we have good people that are having fun, and it really helps interact with those players, and it really reflected onto them that they were appreciated as well, vice versa, with the volunteers as well. So, and it's some photos here in the next few slides of just some of the stuff that we had, some of the action, some of the sponsors in the background. Go to the next, and some of the finalists are in the photos there. And then this picture here is the live stream. We had one main court, the center court, stadium court, as a kind of like your main. Had like 4 or 5 cameras on there, and then we had 4 additional courts that had single cameras on them where people can view them. When they go to the website, they can view and pick whatever match they wanted to see and go through Volleyball Life and see who's playing next, at what time, and all that fun stuff too. There's some additional photos for the events as well, and some of the trophies and the sponsors involved. Rex was a Redondo restaurant that stepped up and helped provide a lot of lunches and stuff for our VIP area or our sponsor area. You go to the next slide. And somebody mentioned Creamy Boys. One of the teams there had sponsored Creamy Boys as well. He's in there far left there, jumping in his Creamy Boys outfit there. In his social media performance, we did pretty well for not really investing into it. We really just kind of naturally had a grassroots way of promoting the event through our social media and getting engagement with the community. And go to the next slide. And this is probably one of the things that I was really enjoyed about our social media team, really putting some stuff together. We started engaging with our sponsors to promote who was involved with the event and getting people excited about the event, working up to the event. You can go to the next one. And this is kind of our foot traffic through our website, the Hermosa-Open website, where a lot of the stuff was sent with our website, our live stream, and our social media tags and everything else. Page breakdown. If you guys want to get into the website, that's more of the details that the social media folks can really show into, but they said it's good. This is a website here. This is a live stream shot, and then down below is a picture of what the website looked like, so you can see how easy it was for a customer to go in and say, I want to see court 1, court 2, center court, whatever it was they wanted to view, and then they can click onto it and be instantly in. Everything was free, so everybody had the opportunity to go directly to it, not have to put an email in or anything like that. it was just directly free, and then they can watch it immediately. And I've talked to people literally around the world who said that they were were watching it at work, or got to see it at home, and really was excited about seeing everything about it. And we had teams from different places, not as many as we did the year before. I think there was a lot of conflict in some of the European events that was going on at the time, but we still had some teams from Spain and Canada and I forget where else. Maybe it was Puerto Rico, I think it was. Not Puerto Rico. Maybe Central America or something. But it was very nice that we still had a lot of engagement outside of that. You can go to the next screen there. So one of the other things that social media did really well was engaged with our businesses here in the community. And what our team did was they went out, got some of the pro athletes, and they went to some of their favorite locations. They like to have lunch or coffee or just to hang out and stuff. So we did a little clip on it, maybe like 10 to 20 seconds long. And I thought it was pretty cool. The athletes were really excited about it. I was getting emails and texts, hey, I want to do one, I want to do one. So that it was really engaging for the athletes and for the businesses in the community. So I think the businesses also appreciated it and really liked it, that we were kind of incorporating it during the event and for the event. So we're going to look to really push that as something we want to keep building on with the community and some of the upcoming events with the Hermosa Open. With next year, the part of that we want to keep pushing. This year the last 2 years we utilized the Hermosa Museum. This year we used them as a location for all the players to have their opening night dinner and interact with some of the sponsors and stuff, and some of the past players as well. So it was a good evening for everybody to hang out and get to know each other. And we also incorporated some of the social media stuff with our Fiesta Hermosa. Our plan is for this year is to incorporate with Fiesta Hermosa. The summer concert series, we really want to incorporate more as well and help build and team work together with that. So I'm going to get with Lisa and really try to see if we can share some of those sponsors a little bit more efficiently and kind of create more of a cohesive weekend out of that weekend, then leading on to the other weekends for the concert as well. But the holidays in the Hermosa and stuff, so we'll look forward to teaming up with some of those folks as well. This poster flyer here is what we had made up, and we went through various retail shops in the city and posted those up, and a lot of the majority of the stores and shops were really happy to have it and kind of help bring them into the whole event as well. But we really want to thank you guys for your support. Without you guys, it definitely would not have happened, especially at this level. So we really appreciate you guys, helping with the support of this event, keeping this event alive. Hopefully, we're still working on trying to get the Hermosa Beach Open title to the city to own that and really kind of keep this whole thing going. Because if we can keep it going with this, I think it's a value to the city, whether I do it or hopefully the AVP will figure it out and come back and get their stuff together and continue with a beach volleyball event. I think the date that we have, that we've worked out with the city, is the best time for beach volleyball athletes to compete in it. Doesn't affect the Olympics every 4 years. It doesn't affect the process of the Olympics every 4 years and the year before the Olympic actually happens. So a lot of the international events, because of the way our beach volleyball tour here is in the United States, which is not really much anymore, that the players end up having to go internationally in the month of July, where they go to Stade or Austria. So Hermosa, if they were to do it in July, that wouldn't be the most optimal time for the U.S. players to participate in it, and which has been a reflection of the last 8 years prior when the Pro Tour was here. We didn't have a full tour or full level of our athletes participating. August, obviously, is Manhattan Open month and a lot of other things going on, so that we wouldn't want to conflict with that. And I think September is the most ideal, weather-wise, business-wise, city-wise, dealing with all the things that we have going on in the city. I think it's the best time for everybody to have that time frame. So hopefully it'll keep going. That's something that people can count on moving forward. I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned when I was playing on tour, was that when we had consistency And then spectators and fans knew exactly when, and they can plan literally years, maybe even a couple years out, that they'll be there and come out and visit and participate in that event. And that was a big value for the growth of the sport, growth of the event in the past. So, well, again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Tom?
It's impressive what you and your group have been able to do with this event in a couple of years. So keep doing it. Congratulations. If you need anything from the city, you know to reach out to Lisa or reach out to us. You know, we're here to make this event work as well as we can, but, you know, thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Ilka?
Yeah, I think the live stream is pretty impressive and the social media reach, but I heard from a lot of people that said it was kind of like the old school tournaments where you could just sit on the side of the court and watch these incredible players, and you're right there, you're in the thick of it, and that's really great, because that's what the original tournament was, and that's what I remember from growing up, so thank you.
Thank you.
Todd?
Yeah, the live streaming setup was really impressive, so congrats on putting that together.
Thank you.
The social media sounds like really good reach and good integration with businesses too. Is the social media team, are they volunteers or are they?
I was able to pay them a little bit, but originally, yeah, because last year we didn't have any.
Yeah.
I brought one guy on like the day of the tournament, and then this year, like 2-3 months in it before, brought him. I told him, I don't know if I could pay you, but they were awesome. They got through it. We were able to raise the money, because that's the scary part about this whole thing. It's not like I'm going into it like, hey, I got X amount of dollars. It's like I'm starting all over again. I'm like, okay, we got to go back. So we were very lucky. The first year we raised $220,000, and the following year, this past year, we raised $300,000. And so it's just a reflection. It has nothing to do about me or getting lucky with these. These guys all these people are great people in the community that have resources that have all helped and tapped into those resources to get to something that means a lot to us, or the volleyball community, and to the local people here of Hermosa Beach. So it's just a good reflection of everything in this community coming together and showing what we can do together and really move forward and have a successful event moving forward. So.
And I appreciate the effort maybe to build some anticipation throughout the year by using the other events like you mentioned in social media reach with the tournament. So hopefully that goes well and you can keep that going.
Yeah, thank you.
Tracy?
No, what your team and you have done is really incredible. So we'll look forward to year number 3, and it says a lot that your sponsors are coming back. And the feedback from the community is always really positive. So well done, thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, amazing, and it's getting bigger every year. The prize pool is getting bigger, which is what we had originally talked about. I have my number. I won't share it, but I got a plan. The reception was fun. As you said, the players are just so excited to be here, and they come around and introduce themselves, and they've got these stories, and it was a wonderful evening. I really appreciated that. I really appreciate the fact that you went around town and everyone got to share their favorite restaurant or their favorite store. That was amazing. And I'm just hoping that, next year, the following year, that every year it gets a little bit more creative, a little bit better. It doesn't mean that we have to try and match anybody else. We're Hermosa and we can do fine on our own. I do have one question for you, though.
Fire away.
Flying Hawaiian. Apparently that is his nickname. Did you want to share where that came from?
More like the grounded Hawaiian these days. But actually, it's a funny thing, because when I first started trying to get on the tour, I started traveling around, and I asked my mom, hey, help me type up the resume. It wasn't on a computer, it was typing it up on a typewriter. And she's like, hey, you went to this place? I'm like, yeah. She goes, you went to that place? I'm like, yeah. And so that came on, and I ended up going to New Zealand for a sponsorship had taken me down there to go play on their tour for their summer. And I was there for New Year's, and I ended up calling my grandma in Hawaii. I said, hey, Happy New Year's. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm in New Zealand. She goes, where? I said, weren't you just in Florida like a month ago? Yeah. I said, weren't you just in Central America? I said, yeah. She goes, damn, flying Hawaiian, what are you doing going all over the place? So that's where it started in the the people around me at the time were all cuddled around. We were all cracking because we're all calling our parents or grandparents or parents and stuff. And they heard that, and it just kind of stuck when I played on that tour, and it kind of came back with me. So that's where it came from.
I try to do my research. Thank you very much for everything, and I look forward to working on the next program and see what we can come up with.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Okay, our next and last presentation is from Skechers Peer to Peer. Thanks for waiting and being so patient.
Sure, no problem. Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Trell. I'm the Director of Development and Events at Skechers Foundation. And we just had our 17th annual Skechers Peer to Peer Friendship Walk on October 19th. And appreciate all of you. There's actually a City of Hermosa Beach team for the second year. Kaylin was the captain. We work really closely with the city here. It's the turnaround for the walk, and it's a very important part of the walk. You all probably know it starts in Manhattan Beach. That's where the main footprint is. It's 3.4 miles, and we raise money for children with special needs and for public education. We have a National College Scholarship Program. We're really proud of the walk itself because of what we can do for the kids. This year we've raised just over 3.3 million. We're still accepting donations, so if anyone wants to contribute. All the money goes back to helping kids. Last year we were able from funds from the walk to give the Hermosa Beach Education Foundation $269,812. So every year we raise more and we're able to give back more. At the turnaround, we had Cal Water. We've really tried over the years to diminish our use of single-use plastics. So Cal Water provides their system, their refill bottle system, which is amazing. Connecta had their ice cream push cart here, and Creamy Boys Ice Cream, which apparently he goes to all the events now. But when they opened a couple years ago, I met Duncan and asked if they would participate in the walk. And so they've generously donated their time and product. It's always a big hit at the walk. And I think they appreciate it too because they get to meet other people in the community and sponsors at our partner appreciation event, which we host usually at the end of February. We also had the Redondo Union High School Jazz Band and the cheer team. We try to feature the kids in the community. We gift them a pair of shoes, each of them a pair of shoes too, so they can wear them at the walk. We tried to bring more business, get more businesses involved. We brought our t-shirt printing to Joel Design in Hermosa. We print 12,000 t-shirts every year for the walk. And so we've developed a good partnership with them. And just numbers-wise, we estimate about 10,000 people. It's really hard to tell because we do a pre-check-in process at 4 locations, 2 days in a row before the walk. And we just don't know how many people come in to the site the day of. But we did have a big flow of yellow shirts all in Manhattan Beach and along the Strand and in Hermosa. And our volunteers there estimate about 30 to 40% of the people who walk to Hermosa actually don't leave and turn around. They kind of hang out, and we have a lot of sponsors who say they have special events there with their teams. They go to brunch somewhere, they watch NFL games, and so we feel we are bringing some good customers to the city. We really, I guess overall, we only had one challenge this year, and I've mentioned it to Lisa and to Kaylin that we seem to have a hard time getting Athens services to bring us our trash containers that we request. This is the second time that our team in Manhattan Beach has had to configure cardboard boxes and liners and then deliver them to Hermosa the morning of the walk. So if someone could help us figure out a better system so that we just have the trash containers here for the walk, because we know that we do generate some amount of trash with that many people. That would be great. I don't know if anyone has any ideas for that, but emailing and setting up a delivery just hasn't worked. So we could bring, we work with waste management in Manhattan Beach, so we could bring those receptacles here, but I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but it's a thought.
We'll get back to you about that.
Okay.
Put that on our to-do list. Thank you very much. I heard you had a pretty big surprise
Yes,
guest.
actually, I meant to say we had a surprise guest of honor who kicked off the walk, Clayton Kershaw and his family. And it was actually, it was very much undercover. Robin Curran, who's the executive director of the foundation, somehow finagled this. And a handful of us knew in advance and got him there on a golf cart. And it was really so exciting, a great way to kick it off. And then obviously with everything that happened afterwards, we feel like we really hit the jackpot with that. So it was really exciting.
That was a major secret to keep, so kudos to you.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions? Well, again, you guys do a great job. You follow through with everything that we've asked you to do, and we'll talk. I've worked with Athens for some of the school fundraisers, just the Halloween carnival. So I'll talk to Brian and Lisa.
Great.
So,
okay, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate everything
Yeah, well,
you do.
we appreciate all you, and we love the long-term agreement. So we've got October 18th on the schedule, and then we'll renew. So
perfect.
Thank you all for everything.
Thank you. Okay, let's open this up to public comment. Amari?
This is the time for members of the public to address the commission on items on and not on the agenda, but within the commission's jurisdiction. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes and will be taken in person and via Zoom. A reminder that if you address the commission on a discussion item, you will not be able to address commission on the same item when it is heard at the later part of the meeting. First, we do have Jack Levy in person.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us. I'm Jack Levy, the co-chair of the Bark for a Park team. We wanted to give you all an update on some of the great progress we've been making on the dog park. First off, on October 28th, we had a terrific social dog-friendly event at the deck. We had over 50 people. It was a terrific representation of dogs there as well, and 1% of all the proceeds were given to the Bark for a Park group. It was a great marketing event. It even got written up in the Easy Reader. Once again, it demonstrated the enthusiasm and support we have in the city to make a dog park a reality. We see the October 28th event as the first of many to come, where we'll continue to talk about our progress, build support, sell some merchandise. We've got hats and hoodies and buttons and stickers, and have a fun event for the dogs as well as the dog owners. The next one's scheduled for November 22nd, and we're teaming up with Uncorked for their Paws for Santa Claus event, and they've selected our Bark for a Park group to be the beneficiary of the funds raised for that event. It's also worth noting the team overall has made some great progress in the last couple of months. This includes the Hermosa Beach Dog Park is now a registered 501c3, so that's going to enable all the donations to be tax deductible. The Bark for a Park teams are now in place and meeting on a frequent basis. That includes our board of directors, operations committee, fundraising committee, and finance team. So we're taking this very, very seriously and have tremendous engagement from the local community in participating across all those teams. We've also secured pledges of almost $60,000 now. without even formally launching our fundraising team. This is from private residents who want to get behind it and just see we just all see this as a great start. We've begun to outline the strategies for donations from a long, long list of residents on our target list, as well as sponsorship models to engage with businesses. The fundraising team is meeting frequently to address both of those groups, both businesses as well as individuals. We continue to work on best practices from dog parks here in Southern California and Northern California, best practices as well as refining our cost estimates. And our petition continues to grow. We're over 1,300 signatures now in support of a dog park in Hermosa Beach. So we really look forward to engaging and working closely with the Parks and Rec group. There's just so much that we can combine forces and work together on. Our team stands ready to engage. And I know Lisa has a lot of competing priorities, but our team is ready and just would love to figure out how to accelerate our progress with y'all.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Amari, anyone online?
If you are joining the meeting by phone, please remember to dial *9 to unmute yourself and *6 to raise your hand. Anyone on Zoom? It looks like we have no one on Zoom.
All right. Asking one more time. Everyone's going. Okay. I'll bring this back. So next we have commissioners' comments. Anyone have anything on their mind? Todd?
Yeah, I did get some email comments outside of the meeting from members of the public, and I also did additional research on the Rec Technologies proposal.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Rec Technologies
Okay.
services agreement that was approved by City Council this previous Tuesday. And I'm just curious if there's anybody on staff who can answer questions about that.
So you have a few questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you do that, does anyone else have any questions?
Related to the dog park, I was just wondering why it wasn't on future agenda items, or, just so the public knows where it is compared to the pool or other things.
Brian, do you want to let us know what the usual?
Yeah, item 11 is future agenda items, and I believe it's on the PowerPoint, but if it's not, I'm happy to add it to my verbal report when we get to that agenda item.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Todd, do you have some things that you would like staff to look into regarding what's happened? I know I have some questions about a letter that we received. So
yeah, I mean, I have a couple of specific, brief questions about the contract.
okay, Brian, I have just to follow up on an email that we received today. So I know that you weren't planning on running the meeting today, so do you mind trying to answer, at least putting them on your to-do list of things?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can give minimal information at this time. I don't think we're in a situation where we can necessarily answer any questions because it's not a formal item on the agenda or even an informational item, which would have to, weigh in public comment or allow the opportunity of public comment. But what I can is respond to the public comment that was
Ms.
already made.
Pena's letter?
Correct.
Okay.
And just reading off some of the notes, as Commissioner Tullis mentioned, the item was approved at the October 28th City Council meeting to award the contract to Rec US Technologies to be the new software provider and platform for city recreational services. This is a staff operational administrative matter that we are in the process of finalizing the contract. So although the item was approved by City Council, the contract has not been formally executed, meaning that we are still finalizing that agreement. And once it's signed and executed in process, then it will be, I guess, formal and go into the planning process, which we can provide more information at the time. As I mentioned, the staff meeting was on October 28th, so if any members of the public would like to gather more information, the staff report and video is uploaded to the city website and is accessible and able to be reviewed by the public. The only items that I can really discuss on, I know one of the public comments regarding the credit card processing fees. We have not executed, like I mentioned, the contract, so it's not formalized how those, the 3.5% mentioned, and the 3% per transaction will be either accrued by the city or passed along to the customer. But the most common practice is those credit card administrative processing fees are passed along to the customer, similar to any ticketing platform that you use online or other registration softwares that other cities use. And I can assure you that this transition is not going to negatively impact any of our services. If anything, it's just going to enhance our user experience and the offerings we're able to provide. And as the report mentions, there's a big cost savings associated with this for the city.
All right.
So, I mean, I know we don't have city attorney representation here, but I believe even if an item is not on the agenda, commissioners can ask direct and brief questions about a topic that's not on the agenda and get answers, or if answers are available, I should say.
You're welcome to ask the questions during your commissioner comments. I just am limited to what information I can provide.
No, I understand. Cambria is not here, nor is Director Nichols, so they might be the most knowledgeable about this. But my specific question, well, I guess the key specific question I have is, in the city council presentation and in the staff report for that city council presentation, Director Nichols said it's an amount not to exceed $75,000 that will be paid to Rec Technologies. However, I think if you look at Schedule 2A of the payment terms for that contract, that would be that amount. What is not stated there is what's in Schedule 2B, which is the payment processing fees that are, to my read of the contract, are payable to Rec Technologies. So I guess my civic question is Hermosa obligated to pay payment processing fees to Rec Technologies at the rates detailed in that Schedule 2B?
And that's what's being, that was what's being negotiated in the final contract with, as it stands currently, all payment processing fees and convenience fees will be incurred by the registrant or user.
No, and my question is not about whether the resident's going to pay them, but those are part of the terms of the contract for Rec Technologies. And so by my read, Hermosa City will be paying Rec Technology those amounts. That's Hermosa City is signing the contract, right? And depending on, I've done some estimation, those could be anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a year. And the cost that was presented about this technology was $75,000 over 3 years, and with a $29,000 per year subscription fee, right? Which is understandable. That's how software works these days. I think there might have been some, I guess, I'm unclear if it was accurate information provided to the city council regarding the total cost.
Correct. The $75,000 is the only amount cost that the city is on the hook for during the 2-year agreement. There is no additional fees that will be incurred by the city. And so sorry, excuse me, the item that you speak on, I'm happy to, have our coordinator who oversaw the vetting out process reach out to you for further clarification.
Yeah,
But to all understanding of every meeting we've had and going into this executed agreement, the $75,000 is the only monetary amount that the city will be putting forth for this new software company.
Okay, yeah, it'd be great to talk to somebody about that.
Okay.
So I think because there wasn't a lot shared about the new program, that maybe if at a meeting, either our next meeting or the following meeting, to get a great understanding of this new software. It's my understanding that we've not enjoyed what we've been using for a very, very long time, and that this was a step up for everybody, whether it was the city, staff, or the users. So if there's something that we can get a presentation about what it is we're going to be using, it would probably be good for all of us to understand.
Understood. And yeah, the commission is welcome to add that as an informational item. And I will, confidently say that this is going to be a tremendous upgrade for the city, for city staff, for our residents. The current provider, ActiveNet, is not up to date with modern technology or modern solutions. And almost every city I can think of that we've talked to in the best practice research is either has gone out to bid for RFP to seek a new provider or is planning on doing so. So it is a very common trend in the field of parks and recreation right now is rec software. It's a hot topic.
Excellent. Thank you.
I just have a quick question. When did you decide to go with the new rec tech software? Was that?
I don't have the meeting date that when we close, I don't know, we close bids August or September. I would have to go back and look at the timeline. And then we did final interviews and demonstrations with those, with the most competitive ones. And then the contract that was selected, or the proposal that was selected, went to council on the 28th of October.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else? All right, next, consent calendar. And we have action minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll move to action the minutes of the meeting of October 7th, 2025.
Second.
We're almost there. There we go.
Voting is now open. Looks like we're just waiting for Commissioner Warner.
Okay, why don't you just let them know?
Yes. It's flashing vote.
No worries. Voting is now closed. Motion carried.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so we're moving on to public hearings. Approval of MPEC Level 2, new 2026 special events. Brian? Or Austin?
Yeah, Austin's going to be presenting this item tonight.
Welcome, Austin.
Hello. Good evening, Chair Elman and Commissioners. Austin Dewey, Special Events and Filming Coordinator, on behalf of staff, recommends the Parks, Recreation, and Community Resources Advisory Commission consider for approval the inclusion of the 3 Impact Level 2 new special events shown on the slide before you on the 2026 special event calendar as proposed in the staff report. Next slide, please. Staff began accepting applications from all event producers interested in applying for 2026 event dates, regardless of each event's impact level, on May 27th, 2025. Event producers with new Impact Level 2 event requests are required to submit a special event application by August 31st, 2025, or at least 90 days in advance of the event. The new Impact Level 2 event request dates are included on the 2026 special events calendar. Next slide, please. Staff received a total of 3 new Impact Level 2 special event applications. First, USA Volleyball requests approval to hold the Beach Collegiate National Team training block on the volleyball courts north of the pier within the commercial zone, which is between 10th to 15th Street, on Tuesday, June 9th through Friday, June 12th, 2026. The event would consist of an adult volleyball training camp in preparation for international competition. Additional event details are included in the Beach Collegiate National Team Training Block Overview, Attachment 3. Next, Beach Tennis Kelly Club requests approval to hold beach tennis tournaments on the beach tennis courts north of the pier within the commercial zone on the following dates in 2026. Friday, March 6th through Sunday, March 8th, Friday, June 26th, Sunday, June 28th, Friday, August 14th through Sunday, August 16th, and Friday, October 23rd through Sunday, October 25th. The events would consist of adult beach tennis tournaments, including singles and doubles formats. The event producer anticipates 60 participants and 20 spectators. The event would charge a participation fee of $35 to $50 dependent on the demand of the tournament. Staff would like to note approval of the beach tennis tournament on October 24th would result in a beach tennis tournament and volleyball tournament placed alongside each other on the north side of the pier. Staff have reviewed the date with each organization and received confirmation that the event will not impede on each other's event footprint or interfere with each other's event experience, and staff does not anticipate any negative impacts with both events taking place simultaneously. Next, Day at the Beach Events requests approval to hold out-of-system 4-ice tournament on the volleyball courts north of the pier within the commercial zone on Saturday, June 13th, 2026. The event would consist of an adult beach volleyball tournament and anticipates 200 participants and 100 spectators. The event would charge a participation fee of $80 per team and would have amplified sound for announcements and background music. Next slide, please. If approved by the commission, staff would present the commission's recommendations on the new 2026 special events to City Council at its November 17th, 2025 meeting for review and formal action. Staff are available to answer any questions that the commission may have. And to note, an event representative was recommended to be in attendance today to answer any questions you may have regarding the events. This ends my report. Thanks.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for staff?
I did have a question about the beach tennis courts, like when they used portable or temporary courts. It was noted in the application that the southernmost set of courts would overlap with volleyball courts, the space inside the volleyball courts. And I was just curious, have we ever considered putting those portable beach tennis courts to the north instead of the south? And if not, why?
Yeah, definitely. So we have, however, there just isn't enough space to put the additional beach tennis courts to keep them within south of 15th Street, which would be the commercial zone. I know on the site plan, it does say 2 volleyball courts, south, indicated that would prevent or hinder the volleyball tournament, but that's when staff will work with the event producer for beach tennis and ensure that they will not be installing portable courts on those tournament dates.
And then I think I'm gonna, there's 2 dates for beach tennis that make a SmackFest sandwich, basically beach tennis, SmackFest, beach tennis. What are the details of the responsibilities? Because SmackFest does take over quite a bit of that footprint. And obviously with the tournament, there's more courts. So what is the division of responsibilities in terms of court setup and takedown and clearance and all that between the 2 organizations?
Yeah, so...
And the city, I guess, if the city is responsible for any of that?
Yeah. So SmackFest, they should be only setting up additional temporary volleyball courts on that day of their event. They should not be setting up any additional temporary volleyball courts prior to their event date. So there shouldn't be any conflict with beach tennis on the 26th or 28th.
And Austin, can you confirm, I think will help answer your question, beach tennis, if their tournament loads in on Friday the 26th, they do tear down at the end of the event on Friday, and then they reset up and tear down again on Sunday So their infrastructure would not remain on site on Saturday during SmackFest.
Yes, that's correct.
Anything else? All right. Tracy?
No.
Okay. Anyone? All right. Who do we have here? Do we have Beach Collegiate National Team? On the phone.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Who are we speaking with?
This is Carolina Garbato, the director of the
Great.
Beach National Team Development Program with USA Volleyball.
Perfect. Hello, Caroline.
Hi. Yes, I'm requesting for the Beach Collegiate National Team training block. So this event would be for the top 12 to 16 athletes per gender in the U.S. They would be, it's a very minimal setup, so we're looking for 3 to 4 courts and no more than 4 hours per day. Some days we would go in the mornings and afternoons, some days mornings only. And that would lead up into the following week where we do have a returning event to Hermosa. We would love to potentially keep this event in Hermosa, as we would have the athletes flying in to LA, and we have a deal with the Quality Inn. Our contract with them for this event, if we're able to finalize it, will be approximately $44,000 in hotel revenue, as well as approximately $26,000 in local dining, as all of our athletes would be staying in Hermosa. The structure, as I mentioned before, is just very small. The program price is subsidized by the NGB, by USA Volleyball. Approximately 90 to 100% of the total cost for the athletes will be subsidized by us. And that goes into effect through a financial aid application where athletes can apply, and we will utilize funds from USAV to pay for it. And yeah, we'd love to be there if you guys will have us. What questions do you have?
Does anyone have any questions for Carolina? Well, I'd like to say thank you for getting creative and working with one of the hotels. That's always helpful to us. And of course, we appreciate the fact that they're during off-peak times, it's always good to have a group come in. So thank you very much for that, Carolina.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay, Tom?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just tell me what we're training for.
Yes, great question. So we will be training for the World University Championship, which will take place in Portugal, August 12th through the 18th of 2026.
All right, and you said this new event is related to the event that the following week in Hermosa, the World Championship junior event?
Yes.
How are you related?
Yeah. They're only related in a sense that, so I have applied for permits for this event. We've applied for training permits. So we've gone back and forth between Hermosa and Manhattan for the past 2 years. The groups have been staying in Hermosa Beach, and it's just been a hassle to go from, Hermosa to Manhattan in the afternoon so we can have a permit there the entire day. And because we're so small, I would just like to request a permit for the entire time that we actually need it, instead of going back and forth in between Hermosa and Manhattan, given that we're staying in Hermosa and our preference would be to be in Hermosa. And then on the following week, we would utilize some of the courts that are not being used during the World Championship for the national teams to continue to train.
All right, so the people who are training on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, June 9th, 10th, and 11th, you anticipate that some of those people will also be training on the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Is that what
Yes.
you're telling me? Do we need a separate application for that? I mean, now are we running 2 events?
Yeah, as of right now, the application that's presented to you tonight only includes the dates of June 9th through June 12th, so
Right.
4 days, Tuesday through Friday. If there's any coinciding of training of the athletes for the following event, it has to be intertwined with the event tournament itself. It wouldn't be an additional training. They would require additional days for their application if that was the case. You're correct.
Are they the same age groups that we're talking about here?
Yes. So the following week, those athletes have been playing in that event for the past 3 years already. That is a combined event. We've just decided on the name of World Championship, but we typically run it depends. Every other year, we have a different age group competition. So some years it's U19, some years it's U21, and there's always the collegiate aspect within that. So those athletes, they wouldn't be training, they would actually be competing on that same World Championship event.
All right, Brian, I'm gonna leave this to staff to sort out, all right, to make sure that if they are distinct events, they should apply separately. If they're just the same players playing in these on different days, I don't have a problem with that.
You are correct, Commissioner Maroney, and we will ensure that the event producer understands the limitations within that, and that any activations taking place on the following weekend would have to be incorporated as World Championship trials.
And they are, Brian. They really are. So they're both World Championship trials, and I can show you, as if you look at the names we've submitted the past couple of years, you're going to see 2 groups of athletes, one playing on one side and one playing on the other side, just like north and south, within the north side of the pier, but it's for a World Championship trials always.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Elka, do you have any questions? All right.
Can I?
Absolutely. Tracy?
I don't have any questions, but I do appreciate that your event is midweek and that it goes Tuesday to Friday. So thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Carolina, if you'll wait online there.
Thank you.
I think we should have organized our thoughts here. We're going to vote on all 3 of these at the same time, so that's my bad.
We will
We
need
do have to
up
open to public
Yeah,
comment.
so we're going to do these one at a time then, that way we can, okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this subject?
This is a time for members of the public to address the commission on the item only. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. When called, please state your name for city. Please state your name and city of residencies.
This is public comment only about the Beach Collegiate National Team Training Block, the other 2 events.
Correct.
Okay.
We will begin with the members of the public wishing to provide comments in our chamber.
Mark, would you like to come up?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the collegiate beach event and stuff. It's a great opportunity for young athletes to go through the process of the national team building up to the Olympic team. And so the training she's talking about prior to that is prepping the kids going into the competition the following week as well. So it's same, but it's 2 different things. So it's in a different process. But then those athletes will compete and qualify into the World Championships that she had mentioned in August. So that's the process. But the big thing about it is just a great opportunity. What I mentioned earlier about Southern California, more specifically Hermosa Beach, being the epicenter of beach volleyball, as you guys hear all the time and you guys understand by now, because you guys deal with this so often. It's really been an impactful thing for the American players to establish here and an opportunity for these young athletes to continue that pathway. And with LA 28 coming up, I think it's a huge advantage for Hermosa Beach to continue that support with these national teams, because when those things start coming along in 26, 27, going obviously into 28, a lot of international teams are going to be coming to California, more specifically Hermosa Beach, because of what we have here. And so I think this is also additional opportunity for us to really embrace what this could potentially be for us in 2027, 2028 as well. Even though the event itself is going to be in Long Beach, Hermosa Beach is going to be the most ideal place for that, and a lot of traveling back and forth like what I see in Long Beach and in Hermosa with those athletes. So just a little tidbit on that. But thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Amari, is there anyone online?
Seeing no hands online.
All right, I'll bring this back. Does anyone have any comments, or would someone like to make a motion?
Well, I'm still kind of confused about this event and its relationship to the other event. If there's going to be Beach Collegiate National Team training happening the following week, then this permit needs to be changed. This permit application needs to be changed to reflect those dates. There was also mention about south of the pier. I wasn't clear what was going on there.
Yeah, I think the event producer was referencing south and north regarding the courts. So they consider like courts 1 through 6, the first 2 rows, as the south courts, but north of the pier, and then, you know, following rows 3 and 4, courts 7 through 12 is what she was referencing to the north of the side. So I can see where the confusion is, but that's at least what I made from it. Staff has the option, you know, if the event is approved tonight, to set those parameters and requirements of what they're able to do within their event permit, right? So meaning the event tonight, like I mentioned, is only for the 4 specific dates that they are requesting. None of the elements for these 4 specific dates would be carried over to USAV's following event, because that is a separate event. Meaning the training grounds for these 4 dates would not be able to train on the following 4 events unless they added it to their proposal today.
But you're not going to bring that
It's
back
2
to us.
separate events.
You're not going to bring that back to us.
Right. My recommendation would be to, up to the commission, would consider approval, because it still has to go, is to the event will be as proposed, and that any participants for the first event would have to be incorporated into the tournament itself for the second event, that it would not be used for a training ground. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the only other comment I wanted to make about the dates is that June the 12th is a Team USA World Cup match happening at SoFi. And I'm not aware of any plans we have yet for World Cup events, but that is obviously a candidate date. And it sounds like this event is very small, and even not even all day, or kind of a casual schedule. So maybe it can be shifted to start on the 8th, or maybe they don't need the 12th if we wanted to keep the 12th free of anything other than the load-in for the Fine Arts Festival. But that's the only thing that comes to mind for me. I'm not aware of any tentative events yet for the World Cup.
All right.
I'll just make a couple of comments, quick.
Okay. Tom?
A Fine Arts Festival isn't a problem because it's up away from the beach. But if the World Cup comes, I guess we'll have to deal with it at the time if that's the date they want to do it, because I think there's interest in the city in doing a World Cup event. My concern about, and Brian, I totally get it, and I'm fine with approving this event because you've clarified what my confusion was. But my concern is that this all of a sudden becomes a level 3 event, if they're really connected. And then we really run against level 3 limits. But I totally accept what you've clarified for me.
Yeah, and I think the concern is valid, both on the commission end and staff's end, which staff's recommendation for the commission to consider is leaving the event as proposed and not adding additional dates.
So can I add that, because you're going to be following up, can you follow up with us via email when this is all done, so we can, with a copy of what the new calendar would look like as well?
The calendar wouldn't be adjusted. It would be as proposed in the staff report.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Anything else? So does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve for recommendation by council, the Beach Collegiate National Team training block, Tuesday, June 9th through Friday, June 12th.
And a second?
I'll second it.
It was there.
Maybe it was there.
Voting is now open. Voting is now closed. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, next we have a beach tennis tournament. Do we have Lucas Curry here? You've been waiting patiently all evening, Mr. Curry. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lucas, and Augusto is here with me. We are partners on the Beach Tennis Cali Club. We've been teaching beach tennis for 5 years or so, 3 years in Manhattan Beach, and if I'm not wrong, we started last year in Hermosa, so we have already a permit and everything going. We applied for beach tennis events here in Hermosa Beach to try to follow Ginger's and Donnie's path, because they create a community, and then there's a community there. They were talking about stepping back, and then we've been participating on their tournaments, playing their tournaments, and also helping to set up, to break it down and everything. So we all know the process. We also have been hosting some tournaments in Manhattan Beach. We have ITFs. They're regulated by the International Federation of Tennis. So we ran 4 of those already in 2 years. So we know the process in Manhattan Beach, how to do it, and we've been following Ginger and Donnie's steps here in Hermosa. So we are we're excited to look forward and do a good event here in Hermosa Beach with you all allow us to do it.
Perfect. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I know Mr. Curry's new to the city, so.
Yeah, I guess, would you be willing to move your 26th, 28th dates to either of the 2 prior weekends in June?
If I can move the dates, you said? Yeah, your commissioner. Yes, I will be very happy to do in June as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Tracy? Anyone else?
Can I ask a question? Would it be possible to do a 3-day event in June instead of 2 days? No?
Probably require a different application, I guess.
Correct. I mean, it's possible, but it's not possible, meaning that the June calendar for 2026 is already at its 15-day capacity, and the 20th, which is the week prior, as Commissioner told us, is potentially recommending. That Saturday already has 2 events that is scheduled, and the city has a policy is only 2 events maximum per day.
Well, we could do it's Friday, Sunday, so we could do the 19th.
We could.
Yeah.
Just to answer his
Yes.
his question, the event producer's question, we couldn't do the Saturday 3-day weekend for June.
Okay.
There's a lot of things to start working with you. I know you're new, and we'll get through the new relationship.
Okay. No, I think I already got that answer from Austin by email, so I was familiar we couldn't do the 3 days event, but just want to make sure.
Give it a shot.
Thank you for the information.
All right. So no more questions? Tom? Okay. Do you want to open this up for public comment?
Yes, we can. This is a time for members of the public to address the commission on this item only. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. When called, please state your name and city of residence. For the record, we will begin with any members of the public wishing to comment in our chamber. Seeing that is no one, and we don't have anyone on Zoom either.
All right. So I'll bring this back. Does anyone have anything to say, or does someone want to make a motion?
Todd, what do you think we get by moving those 2 dates?
I mean, it seems SmackFest is a very significant event. A lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of space.
Yeah.
And a lot of setup and takedown. And it just, I don't understand, having a tournament over these 2 days with SmackFest in between just seems rife with possibilities for conflict, for trash left that people need to be stepping on. Just, there's risk there that I don't understand why it would be set up that way. I think it makes sense to not, because these two areas overlap, literally overlap, and I know they're on different days, but the magnitude of the SmackFest event is really significant. And I know when the beach tennis tournaments happen, right, there's a lot of extra courts they put down, and it just, if there's a clear alternative of the 19th and 21st to do the same exact beach tennis days without the risk of sandwiching SmackFest, I would believe that's a better course of action.
All right, well, I understand what you're saying for sure. I don't want to squeeze someone who is reasonably new at running this organization to move the dates if the dates aren't going to work. So let me suggest that we ask staff to work with them and see whether, if there's another vote for this, see whether they really are amenable to doing it on the 19th and the 21st, that this doesn't screw up their calendar in some way. Because, he just came here tonight. This wasn't something he thought about before tonight. But I think you're right about, sure, it would be nice to move it away from SmackFest, I think. I hear what you're saying, especially the Sunday. So that's my comment.
I don't disagree, but I think it's really up to the event producer to whether they want to move
I agree.
that Sunday, knowing what a big event SmackFest is. But SmackFest has 1 day to set up, break down, and clear the space. It's been successful. It hasn't been successful in terms of the trash left. So it's just something I think for the event producers for the tennis tournament to consider. But I think it's kind of their prerogative to work with the city to find what's best for them.
I agree with you. It is their prerogative. The question is, do we want to leave it open to them? Now that you've heard that it's going to be a busy Saturday and it may bleed over into your event, the event isn't going to be going on Sunday, but it's a very big event on that Saturday. Whether you want to reconsider and move it to the 19th and 21st. So maybe the motion becomes we can approve it on the dates they've offered, they want, with the direction to staff that after hearing this and going back to their organization, that staff can work with them, and if they'd rather have those other 2 dates, we'll give it to them.
I second that.
Yeah.
All right. Tom, would you like to make a creative motion?
I think I did, and I got a second.
Okay, so that's.
Is it clear enough to you what I'm talking about over there?
Do we know what we're?
We're going to approve. The motion is to approve the dates that have been requested, the 26th and the 28th, with a direction to staff that they go to the organizers and ask whether they would prefer to have the 19th and the 21st in light of the discussion that we've had here today. But it's their choice.
We may need to make a new motion because there is 5 separate dates they're requesting. So the motion should be to approve all event dates and to direct staff to specifically look into potentially rescheduling the June 26th and June 28th event dates only.
All right, so yeah, I withdraw my motion. See, Barbara, you were right.
All right, so let's start over again. Would someone like to make a motion so that we can try and get the event producer out of here, but at the same time, let him be able to make some changes if necessary? Do you want to try it again, Tom?
Sure.
Okay.
I move that we approve the beach tennis tournament dates as outlined on the staff report, with an additional direction to staff to reach out to the promoter as to the events on June 26th and June 28th and see if the promoter would prefer to have the June 19th or the 21st. But it's up to the promoter to make that choice.
I'll second that.
Is it coming up?
Voting is now open.
Nice job, Tom.
Voting is now closed. 4-1, motion carries.
All right. So next we have the Out of Systems 4 Eyes tournament. Is there someone here representing the group? We're keeping you busy tonight.
Yeah, and another volleyball tournament, right? So, yeah. So hopefully we get the BFL to come back next year. So it's a beach football league or something. So it's a little different. But the Out of Systems is a 4-man tournament that we've done previous years. And is successful in the fact that we have a lot of international athletes from the indoor side that we bring to the beach side, and have a combination of those athletes with the national team players and international players that compete with the beach players. So it's a high-level 4-man beach volleyball tournament at the north side of the pier. The footprint in general, speakingly, is not that very big. It's about 5, maybe 6 courts. We kind of highlight one court, and then the other courts are just staged out there for competitions so that things come back to the center court by the end of the day. But it's pool play action throughout the day where the teams they take turns on playing on different courts, and then final playoffs establish and go down to the center court.
All right. Does anyone have any questions?
So what sets this apart is that it's collegiate 4-man or women?
Not collegiate, it's international. It's a combination of international, U.S. professional indoor players and beach players.
And how many teams did you say?
We have 16 teams.
All right. So we'll open this up for public comment.
This is a time for members of the public to address the commission on this item only. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. When called, please state your name and city of residence. For the record, we will begin with members in the public wishing to provide comments in our chamber. Seeing that there's no one. Checking on Zoom. Seeing no one on Zoom.
All right, so I'll bring this back. Can I ask someone to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Out of System 4 Eyes tournament on Saturday, June 13th, 2026.
And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Voting is now open. Voting is now closed. Motion carried 5-0.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Next, we'll move on to matters for the commission consideration. First is the consideration of renaming the Community Resources Department to Parks and Recreation Department. Brian?
All right, thank you, Chairman Ellman. Members of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Resources Advisory Commission. The item tonight is consideration of the renaming of the Community Resources Department to the Parks and Recreation Department. Next slide, please. Staff recommends the Parks and Recreation and Community Resources Advisory Commission provide input to City Council to consider on a renaming of the Community Resources Department to the Parks and Recreation Department. Next slide. The executive summary tonight at its September 9th, 2025 meeting, Councilmember Keegan requested, with the support of Mayor Saman, staff return with an informational item regarding the renaming of the Community Resources Department to the Parks and Recreation Department. Next slide. Per the Hermosa Beach Municipal Code, section 2.20.010, the functions of the Community Resources Department are to provide opportunities for educational, recreational, cultural, and social services activities for all age groups, and to develop and maintain in an attractive and safe manner the leisure activities and facilities of the city, and to ensure that the such facilities are suitable for a wide variety of purposes. The department's key services and programs are listed here, but not limited to the recreation and enrichment programs, including classes, camps, clinics, and leagues, the park after-school program in the Valley Park Summer Day Camp, the Hermosa 5.0 Senior Activity Center, department-hosted and city-hosted special events, facilities and open space management through facility rentals and lease agreements throughout the city, special event program for events held on public property, and film and still photo permit program for film and still photo activity on public and private property. Next slide. The current name of the department, the Community Resources, may not accurately convey the nature of our services to the public. The department provides a wide range of recreational, event, facility, and permit-related services, and the department, as it is named, may not immediately be identifiable to those functions with a current name. In Table 1, which is best practice outlines, which we'll see on the next slide, outlines the names of the departments in several neighboring South Bay cities that offer recreational services, most of which include the word recreation to more clearly communicate the services offered. Next slide. You'll see Table 1 here, which is some of the best practice research the department conducted in identifying the department names for cities adjacent or near the South Bay, which is the City of Carson, known as the Community Services, Recreation, and Park Maintenance Department, City of El Segundo, which is the Recreation, Parks, and Library Department, City of Gardena, which is Recreation and Human Services, City of Hawthorne, which is the Recreation and Community Services Department, City of Inglewood, which is the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Department, City of Lawndale, which is the Community Services Department, City of Lomita, which is the Parks and Recreation Department, City of Manhattan Beach, the Parks and Recreation Department, City of Redondo Beach, which is the Department of Community Services, and City of Torrance, which is the Community Services Department. Next slide, please. To formally change the name, to change the department name from the Community Resources Department to the Parks and Recreation Department, several updates would be required. One of which is updating the department name throughout the Hermosa Beach Municipal Code, changing the title of the parks to the Parks and Recreation and Community Resources Advisory Commission to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission, with the corresponding updates throughout the Hermosa Beach Municipal Code, updating the department forms and templates, replacing the department's signage across facilities and open green space, updating the department name throughout city websites and other city platforms, updating the department name throughout our recreation software, ordering new department staff uniforms for personnel, updating full-time and part-time job descriptions as needed, changing the title of the Community Resources Director to the Parks and Recreation Director with corresponding updates throughout the code, and updating the department name throughout the internal systems with administrative services and financing. While these updates would be needed, are primary administrative on staff operational ends, there would be a one-time cost associated with implementing this transition, such as costs to replace the department signage across the facilities, as mentioned, and ordering of the uniforms, as previously mentioned. Staff would seek to manage these expenses within the existing department budget this fiscal year. And lastly, the fiscal impact, the cost to order new department staff uniforms would be estimated around $2,000, and the cost to replace the department signage across city facilities is to be determined following completion of a full inventory and assessment of all of our park locations and outdoor facilities. This is, as mentioned, an informational item requesting input and feedback from the commission tonight, and that ends my verbal report.
Thank you. I'm going to start down here. Elka, do you have some questions?
Yes. So when was the name changed to include the community resources? Do you know that? Because I think they were trying to figure it out during the council meeting, and nobody could.
I failed this test. I should know this. I want to say it's within the last 20 years because we have been looking at this. Actually, we were going through our document retention, and there's names that predate back in the 70s where it was a Department of Parks and Recreation, and then it was a Department of Recreation before that, and then it got changed to the Department of Community Resources. Kaylin might know
I actually
the
do have
exact
the
year.
answer. As of 1990, it was community resources per that Parks Master Plan.
So we never had the name Parks and Rec?
It went from Department of Parks and Recreation to Community Resources Department following the Parks Master Plan in 1990.
Okay, so before that, okay. And then how many signs are there that have the name, Parks and Rec and Community Resources throughout the city?
We haven't conducted a full inventory and scope of that. That would be at the conclusion of the direction of City Council during that item. But it's primarily, over 20 parks within the city.
So they all have the entire name listed?
Commissioner Maroney might know this better than me, but yes, during our park master plan that we conducted in 2024, not all parks had signage, which is part of our park master plan goals and objectives as well. So we would be up to date. Not only would we replace all current signage, but we'd look at potentially putting in new signage at the parks that don't have any signage. That
So
would
you'd
be
be-
conducted.
You'd be making new signs?
Potentially, correct.
Okay.
Which is why the fiscal cost is to be determined.
Got it, okay. And we make those at the city yard, right? as
We
well?
have some in-house producing options at the city yard, correct, through our Public Works Department.
Okay, thank you.
Tom?
What do you want to be called, Brian?
Parks, so as a side note, I serve on the board for the California Parks and Recreation Society District 9, which oversees all agencies and municipalities within Los Angeles. Majority of those cities that I know firsthand by working with colleagues and peers in the district go by Parks and Recreation. As we know, the TV show that came out on NBC that was very popular is known as Parks and Rec. It's widely associated in the field of Parks and Recreation, even from a national perspective, through the National Parks and Recreation Association, better known as NRPA. Parks and Recreation is what's identifiable in our profession. Even when we go to conferences, and when I go to meetings offsite, we identify as Parks and Rec. It makes sense to staff that this change would be a benefit to us and to the public.
Tracy?
That's kind of enough for me. Don't we all just refer to ourselves as Parks and Rec anyway? I think the fact that the city can help with some of the signage, I mean, obviously there's still a cost to that. I thought that the $2,000 estimate for uniforms is significant, but not in the scope of a budget. And if it makes things easier for the public to know where they're going. For example, I just had to help facilitate a rental in another city and for a city facility, and I went to Parks and Rec. And that was my first concern was, would people know where to go for the rentals? We're renting the Clark building, would they know where to go? And I think, yes, I think people are smart enough to figure that out. And that was the only question that came to my mind is, would people know where to go to rent or to use the facilities? But it's still part of recreation. It's just indoor. So those are my thoughts.
Correct. And I think the table outlines too perfectly that no association of community resources through our neighboring cities, which is confusing, especially because although we have a big prioritization to focus on residents, we serve patrons and visitors, and we are a tourist town. So when individuals from city of Redondo Beach or Manhattan Beach or Torrance come over here, they hear community resources, and it's not necessarily the greatest name to navigate what we offer. And other cities use community services, which we all know we already have a department within the city as community services, so that name is not available.
Todd?
Yeah, I have no questions right now.
I'm not going to waste anyone's time. I think the staff's made it very clear, and as it's been said, we do introduce ourselves as Parks and Rec Commissioners. So, okay.
We could be the next TV show, maybe.
Gee, I wish we'd thought of it. All right. We don't have to do public comment?
We actually do.
Okay, well then let's open this up.
All right, this is a time for members of the public to address the commission on this item only. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. When called, please state your name and city of residency for the record. We will begin with members of the public wishing to provide comments in our chamber. Seeing no one and checking online. If you are online, you may raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised.
Thank you, Amar. And just to clarify for the commission, there is no motion needed for this item, just basically a receive and file and feedback.
All right. So next.
Yes? I do have feedback. I
okay.
didn't provide it during questions. I wasn't sure we were supposed to do that. So 2 things. First, from a branding point of view, what I understand is unique about this department relative to others is the management of special events and the management of events. So I think we should consider calling it the Parks, Recreation, and Events Department because that's a really big part of what this staff and this commission does. And it's probably unique. I don't know, at least unique in the area, certainly according to the table. But it's been impressed upon me as I've talked to staff that that is a unique part of the department here. And the second thing I would say is when it comes to sign changes or new signs, I would simply recommend that we be pretty judicious about that. I don't know how critical, accurate signage in terms of a department name is. I would think signage is more important in terms of a phone number or somebody to contact about an issue, not necessarily the exact department name. So if it means we don't replace or create all the signs right away and we just handle them on some rolling basis, maybe as they age out, I'd be okay with that too.
This is why we all meet. Excellent. Elke, I saw you reaching.
Yeah, I think community resources is just a little bit confusing for people, and it doesn't really indicate much of anything. You do a lot of, you wear a lot of hats, you have a lot of jobs you do, but I think Parks and Rec kind of sums it up. And, you know, we got these California Parks and Rec Society magazines, and you just see it everywhere, and it's identifiable. So I'm for definitely shortening the name.
Tom.
Parks and Rec.
I think that Todd brought up a good point. If staff wants to add that on, I mean, I know this is going before the council, so, but I do think that we should be acknowledged for the fact that we aren't just Parks and Rec, we are events. So it's something to consider.
Certainly, that's good feedback to have. And what I've seen at other departments is, although they might have Parks and Recreation as a department name, events or special events is a division, like a subdivision within the department that's acknowledgeable and identified, like on the website or something. So we could look into both and provide that feedback to council.
All right. So next, we're going to move on to the approval of the Parks and Recreation Community Resources Advisory Commission's 2026 meeting schedule, which is always fun to do, to think about next year.
Okay, staff, on behalf of staff and Director Nichols, the item presented to you tonight is the approval of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Resources Advisory Commission 2026 meeting schedule. We have the PowerPoint. Oh, there's no, I'm sorry, I should make this clear. There is no PowerPoint presented for this item tonight. The recommendation action, so staff recommends the Parks, Recreation, and Community Resources Advisory Commission approve its 2026 meeting schedule as proposed in the staff report. For some additional background, the Parks and Recreation Community Resources Advisory Commission regularly meets on the first Tuesday of each month. During November each year, the commission shall adopt an official meeting schedule for the following calendar year, which is presented tonight. Staff proposes the commission continue with its regular meeting schedule in 2026 with meetings held on the first Tuesday of each month, with the exception of the month of November, as Tuesday, November 3rd of 2026 is the day of the United States elections, or midterm elections. The proposed meeting dates for 2026 are as followed. Tuesday, January 6th, Tuesday, February 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd, Tuesday, April 7th, Tuesday, May 5th, Tuesday, June 2nd, Tuesday, July 7th, Tuesday, August 4th, Tuesday, September 1st, Tuesday, October 6th, Monday, November 2nd of 2026, and Tuesday, December 1st of 2026. That concludes my staff report.
Great. All right. Tom? Ilka? Todd?
Have we ever considered the November meeting holding it on Wednesday rather than Monday?
Not to my knowledge, we've ever considered it, not saying it's something we couldn't, but at least historical context, it's always been the first Monday prior to the elections.
But you want to get wild and crazy, don't you? I know you're kind.
Am I supposed to say why I'm asking that question, or I have to
Absolutely.
wait?
Share your thoughts.
Well, this is the first meeting where there's been 0 people on Zoom and 0 people in the room, and where, typically, at least the public has a Monday to digest the agenda and provide public comment. If we continue to have this meeting on Mondays, it's over the weekend, which I think reduces the potential for public participation.
All right.
If I could provide a side comment, purely speculative, but the Los Angeles Dodgers parade being today might have played a factor. That's just my assumption.
Boy, you are assuming, aren't you? Oh, Dodger fan. Tracy, do you have a thought?
Not a bad assumption. We typically consider Hermosa Beach school district calendar and their spring break, which is April 6th through the 9th or 10th. And our meeting for April is scheduled April 7th. So we do sometimes consider moving our meetings so that we are not in the middle of spring break, because then for sure you're not going to.
Yeah. Brian and I talked about that today. And usually.
I didn't know.
Well, no, and it came up because we have had members on this commission that have had children, and they were going to be on vacation. So the question was, should we be cognizant of the fact that the school district is closed? A lot of people will be out of town. And do we have a responsibility to make our meetings available to the most people, which would mean possibly changing the date in April? So what we have done in the past, until we were able to figure out what we were going to do with the calendar, is we've approved this without the dates that we might need to change. Do you know what it would take to change the meeting dates today without any great thought? Because Brian Todd's not wrong about the fact that it is one less day that people get to look at the agenda. And then also, spring break does take a lot of people out of town.
Yeah, it's purely up to the commission tonight. You can propose a motion to approve all the calendar dates proposed, except for if you had wanted to pull April or November dates, you could pull those out separately and approve a motion to approve the rest of the dates, and then staff would have to bring back to the following commission meeting alternative dates for you to consider and approve.
Because we do have to check out what the availability is of the room, much less staff.
Correct. We would have to look at other competing city department meetings, their commission meetings, and council meetings. We also permit this space for school district meetings as well.
Does anyone have a thought on that?
It is interesting that it is the first time that the commission in a long time hasn't had someone with a school-aged child. So it's, like you said, it's a matter of weighing the community's needs with the school district and all of that. So it could go either way.
All right.
I was going to say, I think I do kind of agree with Todd that to give people that extra day does help, because Mondays are often very busy days for people coming off a weekend. And obviously there's voting on Tuesday, so if possible, Wednesday would be ideal, in my view.
Does anyone want to make a motion to approve these dates with the possibility of changing other dates? And do we have a thought about, that's very true. Okay, so right now we're leaving this that we could possibly change the week of April 7th and the week of November 2nd. And we should open this up to public comment.
This is a time for members of the public to address the commission on this item only. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. When called, please state your name and city of residency for the record. We will begin with members of the public wishing to provide comment in our chamber. Seeing that there's no one, and we have no virtual hands raised either.
All right, so we'll bring this back. Does someone want to make a motion?
Yeah, I would. I'm also in favor of looking at alternatives for the April and November meeting dates to avoid spring break for Hermosa schools and avoid a meeting on a Monday after a weekend. So I would move that we approve all dates except for April and November and request that staff research alternative dates for meeting in April and November 2026.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Amari?
Voting is now open. Oh, apologies. It's loading. Okay, voting is now open. Voting is now closed. Motion carried 5-0.
Great, thank you very much. All right, lastly, future agenda items. Does anyone have any ideas or thoughts they want to share about possible future agenda items?
Well, I know we talked earlier, sorry. Okay. We talked earlier about the future agenda items section of the meeting and the presentation and an interest in including subcommittees on that list. I think we mentioned that. I don't know, I thought Elka mentioned it earlier, but
we do have a presentation available for future agenda items.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do we want to?
Perfect.
Next slide. So City Council directed future agenda items just for the commission knowledge here tonight. One of the items is the providing access to a pool for the community, which was requested in June 23rd, 2025. There is no current status report on that project and is not moved forward at this time. The review of the Hermosa Beach Lawn Bowling Club operations, including maintenance, usage, and management, that was requested on June 23rd, 2025. Members of our team is currently looking into and compiling a report for that, so that project is ongoing. Review of the Hermosa Beach Municipal Codes, Section 12.20.300, which is special events on public property, considering whether to allow vendors to sell on the beach or other than event producers themselves as part of an approved special event. That item is coming to commission in December and then going to council following that meeting as well. So that will be on our next agenda. And then review of feasibility of placement of an access mat on the north side of the pier near Longfellow Avenue, requested on August 26, 2025. That item is pending and is not progressed forward at this time. And then another item mentioned, which is the dog park project. That is not on the list tonight. That item is moving forward. Staff has been in communications with the group. Recently, myself has been assigned by the director in the department to work hand in hand with that group, and we will hopefully be making progress to get that subcommittee formed to start identifying the feasibility of putting a dog park in Hermosa Beach. And lastly, the review of the Hermosa Beach Municipal Code for special events on public property to allow event producers. We did that one, right? I think that's a duplicate. That concludes the slides presentation.
Anybody have any questions? All right. my question is, can we look into the problem we still have at the Clark Building regarding the echo in the room? I was wondering if we could look at maybe something like some acoustical panels. So I know I sent an email to Director Nichols today, not realizing that she wasn't going to be here. So if that's something we could look at, we've spent a huge amount of money, and although things are better, they're not where I was on the subcommittee, and it's not where I thought we were going to be with the room.
Yeah, I'm happy to look into that. For clarification for staff, is that the echo when the audio and the microphone is used, or is it just general noise with
I think it's both
like the
ways.
crowd? And
I was
just in
really
the room?
surprised the last time I was in a meeting with the mayor, and there still is an unusual amount of sound that could be taken away from an event.
Okay, and it's interior echo, not exterior concerns with
No, it's the
noise level?
interior. No.
Okay.
And so just curious about that. And again, we were looking for a little bit more information about the new program that you're going to be using for processing credit cards.
Well, actually, I have a specific suggested future action item related to that.
Perfect. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So the Rec Technologies implementation will be happening over the 6 months, I think, starting January. And I think it's a really, as mentioned, it's a really important project for the public, for the commission to be aware of. And I'd like to propose that we have a future agenda item to add a commissioner to the implementation project team so that the commission can be aware, provide input, and keep close tabs on the status of the progress of that project. So I don't know if there's support for that.
My question is that we don't usually get that involved in how the department is run. So I'm just saying it is an unusual request, and I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I think any technology project has stakeholder groups and has participants from various stakeholder groups. And, you know, I think this commission has the capacity and ability to be a useful member of that project team.
So that's something we would bring back. We're not in a position to vote on
Right,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just, it's something, I
Information?
guess, well, I don't know exactly how, and I tried to read my Roberts Rules eye test sheet, and I don't know exactly what it is, but my suggestion that I would like to have come up for approval or discussion at the December meeting of our commission would be specifically to have a commissioner appointed to the project team for implementation of Rec Technologies. And I don't know what level of support I need among the commission to get that on, but I'm curious if, you know.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one as Commissioner Elman speaks, because this is a department administrative process. There's no real action being taken as the contract has been approved. It's basically staff working with the vendor on the implementation process. Subcommittees are normally formed with commissioners for development of best practices, informational items, providing community input prior to a project going into implementation phase, but we're already going to enter implementation phase. So you're welcome to add it as a future agenda item to, I guess, look into the feasibility of adding a commissioner to the implementation phase. We would have to go back as staff and talk to city management and legal team if that request can even be accommodated, because at this time I would need their direction. I don't know if that's something that we would permit or not. It could be, it can be, I'm not sure.
All right, so you're going to put that on.
Commission would have to, 2 is an informational item, majority 3 would be an action item. So you would have to vote on that tonight if you want us to bring that back.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Todd, what I would suggest, since they are at this stage where they're about to enter into the contract, is that if you're interested in it and you know something about it, that you email Lisa with your specific questions and suggestions and work closely with them. I don't think it's something that, as a commission at this late stage, we should be, telling staff they have to take on.
Well, respectfully, it's not a lot to take on. It's adding somebody to the team who has a lot of value and experience. I've been doing software implementation on all sides for 20 years. I'm perfectly willing to play this role.
Okay.
I wish to be more involved, and I don't feel like just submitting my feedback and suggestions is the best, most valuable use of my expertise for the city.
And I believe we did have a meeting where you did offer some of your expertise, and I think it would be good to continue that, to kind of see throughout this contract. And there was some questions about the fees and everything, so there is public interest in this. So I would be willing to take advantage of your knowledge to oversee this. So I don't know if that's, I have to second it for an informational item, or is that what we have to do here?
I believe you need 3 to make it an action item, or we can bring it back in December as an informational item because we have to go back and see the feasibility. So 2 is enough to bring an informational item back of the feasibility, but you wouldn't be able to add a commissioner appointed to this project at the next meeting under an informational item, to my understanding.
So you'd need another vote?
I mean,
for
it's,
that, or?
you know, the implementation is going to start in January, right? So I'm just trying to get ahead of things and hopefully, you know, help. I think I've got a lot to offer the staff who are working on this project as well in terms of helping their professional development.
I don't know that I see a lot of difference between you offering your help and email and suggestions and working with them with your expertise versus the formal official role, seeing as we're so far down the road.
But we're not down the road. The project has not started yet. The project starts in January. The contract is out for execution, right?
Correct.
No, that's a valid point, but like I said, how is it any different if you offer your expertise versus a more official title?
Because I think I'll have more direct information to provide to the commission about what's going on. I'll have a greater impact on staff's professional development, and I'll have a greater impact on the quality, overall quality and execution of this project.
I think my concern is that there's going to be a lot of unknowns. We haven't had a chance, the director isn't here. So I'm just uncomfortable with the fact that this is not anything that we have done in the past. We've had faith in staff to run the department. So that's where I'm coming from on that. Not that you can't be useful, but to make it official, I don't see that right now.
And I would say it is, to my knowledge, not the standard practice, because usually commissions are assigned to subcommittees in the development of a project where this project is already, contract has been awarded. So now we just have to execute and go into the implementation
And
phase.
all that
So there
happened
is-
without our
Right.
input.
Again, because it's not an area that we get involved with.
I don't understand why we wouldn't get involved. It's the key operational system of the department that we are the commission for, and it is a huge impact on the public and residents who sign up for programs.
And you were involved in the beginning at the developmental phase. That was, I think, about 2 months ago when I sat in on one of those meetings. So, you know, this isn't him just jumping in at the last minute.
Well, if someone wants to make a motion to see if you got your support.
I guess I have two total votes to support this action item. Do I have a third?
I'm not going to do it. Lisa isn't here. I would definitely want to hear from Lisa as to what role she's comfortable with or not comfortable with, and I'm sure she would completely welcome all of your suggestions. You know, we have informal liaisons. We have an informal liaisons to the Public Works Department. We have informal relationships at work. So tonight, no, I can't support it.
So then an informational item to determine whether or not a commissioner can legally be appointed as a member, to participate as a member of an implementation team for the software? Is that where we landed?
Well, you have 2 votes for that, so
Yeah.
yes, yeah. You have support for that.
Okay.
All
Yep.
right. All right. So then we're going to.
Oh, wait, I have their item. I know this Carry is a very popular event, and I'm seeking support for an information item on the tour itself, the screening that would include the number of people who attended, residents versus non-residents, the cost of the event, including staff time, revenue generated, and I'm also curious where that money goes. And I think the do stuff and streaming service Mubi, you know, how they played a role, if that helped or not. Like I said, I think it's a very popular event, and we can look at the things that worked and things that we have to improve on, and maybe get an idea how long people stay in Hermosa, and have perhaps people in the business community offer some specials that are Carry horror related. I think it would just be beneficial for us as a commission to look at that. So I guess an information item.
And Commissioner Warner, I have some of that information available now because we highlighted it in tonight's meeting. I can share that information. We don't go into a full data scope for these community events, but I can provide some information now if it's helpful. And then pending that information, if you'd still like to pursue an additional informational item, we can move forward. Would that work?
Sure. I mean, do you have, how many of those items that I listed do you have?
So I'll just go over the list that I had available from our team. So the film and license fee, so fees, total cost of the city, right? Film license fee and the audience fee, which is a fee that we pay, which is a percentage per participant that attends a film screening, that we pay the film screening office. If we charge admissions, or if any city or any event charges admission, which we do. And those fees come out to $950. Decorations we spent for the prom was $276.48. We spent $77.03 on wristbands, which is the attendees get when they check in. So that brought the total cost for the event to $1,302.51. Net revenue from the event was $3,260, which brought a gross revenue total to $1,957.49. That revenue goes back into the city's general fund. And one thing I wanted to note as well is Leadership Hermosa provided the on-site concession sale and alcohol sale for the event, which it serves as a fundraiser for Leadership Hermosa. We have requested twice now what that total is, and I guess they had a meeting tonight, which they're going to review what those totals are and share for us. So I'm happy to provide that either via email following their meeting when we hear back this week, or at our December meeting. And our total attendance for the event was 326 paid register event people, attendees, and 67 that were compensated free. Those were sponsors and partners, nonprofits that we partnered with, which brought our total to just under 393 people. Which in perspective, my first community movie night Carry in 2022, we had about 65 people. So we've times the number by 5 in the last 4 years. And a lot of that was our partnership with Do LA, which heavily promoted at no cost to the city, the event. And majority of people that I gave tours to, as I was the tour host for part of it, I asked, to get verbal accounts where they heard the event from. And I would say 99% of the people said from Do LA. At least that attended the tour.
From this Do stuff. Did you have to pay for that?
We did not. It was a partnership, free partnership with the city and that organization.
Okay, and the tickets were $10, right?
Tickets were $10
Right.
to attend, 18 and older.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you know roughly staff time? Because I think everybody was there, right? You guys were all giving tours or inside or?
Yep. We had theater technicians, 2 theater technicians, which were to staff time, and we had no impacts to our part-time recreational. So those were the 2 part-time staff assigned, and then it was just full-time staff assigned to the event.
Okay, thank you. I'll take a look at this. And do you know if the majority of the people came from Hermosa or out of Hermosa? Because I know I talked to a few people in the line, and they said, they came a bit later, and they said, we just came for this, we're going to watch the movie, and then we're taking off. So I was kind of trying to see.
We weren't able to capture that information for this event. It's definitely something that we could look into capturing for future registration. Majority of the people I spoke to firsthand, like I said during the tour, came from out of town. This event historically has attendance between 60 to 100 people, primarily South Bay residents, Hermosa Beach residents, members of Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach. This event far exceeded expectation in attendance, majority of those coming outside of the South Bay from various areas of Los Angeles.
And the band is local, I think
That
it
is,
was?
yeah,
and
that's
did
through
they
South Bay
get
Connection.
paid, or they do it for free?
I can't answer that. I'm pretty sure it was free.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty confident it was free.
Okay,
Partnership with the South Bay Connection.
great, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, sorry, I have two more. One is about the World Cup. It's coming in June and July 2026. I don't know if it's an informational item to find out what, if anything, we're doing yet, or a subcommittee to get started, proposing a subcommittee to get started on planning for events, but I believe the time would be now to get started on our end at least.
Yeah, I will say confidently, city is attending various meetings. Myself and Director Nichols have been to several meetings with LA 88 for 28, which is the Olympics committee through Los Angeles. Most of these are informational sessions talking about the various branding and marketing efforts they're doing, potential partnerships, hosting sites, et cetera. The city is not elected or was selected as a hosting site for games per se.
Oh, wait, I think you're talking about the Olympics. I'm talking about the World Cup.
Oh, you're talking about the World Cup. So we're
2026.
attending those meetings as well.
Mm-hmm.
The city has applied to host a activation. We have not been approved, and I think this mid-December is when the FIFA host committee in LA is going to select the sites that will be cities selected to host official activation sites. When that information is available, and if we know we are selected as one of the cities, we certainly will involve the commission in those efforts. But as of right now, nothing has even been decided from FIFA, so there's, to me, no need for a subcommittee today because we don't even know where they're hosting these game screenings or activations.
Although in 2022, LA Galaxy, I think, came to us, or we came to
Correct.
them. I don't know exactly.
We are in conversations with LA Galaxy right now.
Okay.
They're part of our pitch.
Okay, then maybe we can save an informational item for January, I guess. Maybe there'll be more information by then.
I think we would have a lot more information available in January.
Okay. So then the other one, I guess, would be an action item. I believe the future agenda items content should include the list of active subcommittees to better communicate to the public and remind everybody of work that either is going on or still needs to get done. So I guess that's more of an action item, so I'd need 3 total supports for that. But I know the public would appreciate, I believe the public would appreciate.
And I don't know if we need an actual action item for that. That's something that staff could accommodate. It's you're asking for future agenda items for our presentation just to include current subcommittees and their statuses and their
Their
work.
updates, yes.
Yeah, we
If
can add
they've
that.
met.
I don't think we need an action item. We can include that.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
Lisa said last time that she doesn't know why that fell off the agenda, because she
Okay.
used to do that.
Yeah.
So I think she was planning to put that back
We
on
will
the
ensure
agenda.
it's on the December meeting. Yep.
All right, thanks.
And what did you mean by activation with the World Cup soccer? Does that mean places where you can view it?
Exactly.
Okay.
So they have official viewing parties, they call them, and official activations where a city is licensed through their official sponsorship to host viewing parties for the public. And that includes potentially funding opportunities, partnerships with local professional soccer teams, et cetera. And then if you are not selected to those, there is an option to do a non-sponsor activation, which would have to be funded by the city
And have we
or
done
a
that?
sponsorship.
And have we
Or
done
a
that?
sponsorship.
Is that when we had the King's Watch Party on the plaza?
Correct, and the Galaxy event, as Commissioner
Okay.
Tullis mentioned in 2022. Those were all, you have to get permitted for those if you're not selected as an official host city, so you pay permit fees and all costs are incurred by the city.
For the screen?
Right.
Okay, and the
Which in that
security.
event, we partnered with the Galaxy who sponsored and funded the event.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, then we'll be in adjournment for,
We have,
I'll close
sorry,
this-
Chair, we have
Am I moving too fast for you?
Community Resource Director report as a final
Oh,
agenda
I
item.
thought we just did that. I'm so sorry. So much going on.
No problem. I have a few items just to highlight for the commission. CIP 630, which is a community center gas line repairs project, has started and conducted. This is week 2 of the project. So happy to say we have heat on the way for the community center and for our participants.
We're so forward-thinking.
Yes. As of right now, the project completion is scheduled for end of December, beginning of January. CIP 619, which is Kelly Court's renovation project timeline, is still pending, but staff recently met with the Public Works Department and the project manager assigned to that, and we are looking at a end of November through February 2026 timeline for that project to be implemented, which public noticing will go out in effect as soon as we have that timeline solidified with the contractor. And the Veterans Day ceremony, which is on November 11th, as we mentioned before, but I did want to remind the public that city office hours are closed on November 11th, but the community center and outdoor facilities will remain open and available to the public. The California Parks and Recreation Society, District 9, is hosting their annual mini conference training at the Hermosa Beach Community Theater on Thursday, November 13th. This is a great honor for the city of Hermosa Beach, as we would be hosting parks and recreational agencies from all over Los Angeles. I think there's over 16 agencies registered for this event.
Are they staying
public-
here?
What's that?
Are they staying here?
It's a half-day mini conference. Yeah.
I'm
This
looking
is
for
actually,
hotel tax.
the district hosts these mini conference to supplement the annual state conferences that CPRS goes, which is more cost inhibiting in cities. It's about $500 just to register for the conference. Nevertheless, travel costs, hotel costs, et cetera. So the district, we host these affordable mini conference, which is $20 for part-time employees and full-time employees, $25. So that way they don't miss out on professional development and opportunities for professionals or cities that can't afford to send their staff to the main conference.
Excellent.
And the Public Safety Forum for the city, and with partnership of the city management and the police department, is hosting a public safety forum on Thursday, November 13th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here at Council Chambers. We encourage the public to attend. And lastly, the department would like to highlight that the Community Resources Department was recently awarded the Best Costume Award for the 2025 Annual Staff Costume Competition. This is our first time winning in 5 years. So just wanted to give kudos out to our team for hosting that. I will happily share the photo with you after this meeting, and that concludes our director's report.
Well, congratulations.
We were Toy Story, by the way.
Very cute.
So you were competing internally? Or
Correct. Each department dresses up in a different theme or costume. It's completely random and a surprise until the contest takes place and we unveil our costumes.
I would just like to say that the grandmother over here was disappointed that we didn't have the trunk or treat this year. Okay, anything else? Now I can adjourn the meeting to December 2nd. Yay. Thank you very much, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, thanks.
I know that was the last thing.